The alarm blared throughout Outpost Cygnus, its harsh sound bouncing off metal walls. Lieutenant Sam Miller cursed as he banged his head on a low-hanging pipe. He had been fixing a leak in the underground utility tunnels when the alarm started. The tunnels ran beneath the entire outpost, carrying water, power, and air to all sections of the human base on this distant moon. "What now?" Sam muttered, wiping sweat from his forehead. At 32, he was the oldest maintenance engineer on the outpost. He reached for his cum unit, but only static answered his call. Sam packed his tools quickly. The alarm meant trouble, and as part of the emergency response team, he needed to get to his station. He crawled through the narrow service tunnel, the metal floor cold against his hands. Above him, Commander Kate Rogers stood tall in the outpost's control center. Her gray eyes scanned the radar display showing 30 large ships approaching fast. "Report," she ordered, her voice steady despite the fear building inside her. Officer Eric Johnson's fingers flew across his console. 30 warships, Commander. Definitely not human. They match no known friendly signatures. Weapons status? Our defenses are minimal, ma'am. 2 orbital guns and the shield generator. Not enough to stop a force this size. Commander Rogers knew the truth of those words. Outpost Cygnus wasn't built for war. Its 200 personnel were scientists, engineers, and support staff. They monitored space traffic and conducted research on this strategically located moon. The nearest military support was 3 days away at best. "Open a channel," she ordered. Before Eric could comply, the main screen lit up with the image of an alien. Its hard exoskeleton gleamed under the lights of what appeared to be a command bridge. Multiple limbs moved efficiently over control panels. Its compound eyes reflected the light in hundreds of tiny mirrors. "Human outpost." The creature's mandibles clicked as it spoke in surprisingly good English. "I am Fleet Commander X. Cathar of the Varaxian Dominion. Your position is surrounded, your defenses are inadequate. Surrender now, and your personnel will not be harmed." Rogers stood straighter. "This is Commander Kate Rogers of Earth Alliance. Outpost Cygnus, we are a research facility. We have no quarrel with your people. You occupy a strategic position. The Dominion requires this location. You have 10 minutes to surrender, or we will destroy your outpost." The screen went dark. "Options?" Rogers asked, looking at her senior staff. "We could try to hold them off until help arrives," Security Chief Paul Donovan suggested, though his face showed he knew how impossible that was. "With what?" 2 orbital guns against 30 warships. Medical Officer Lisa Young shook her head. "That's suicide." "What about evacuation?" Eric asked. "No time to get everyone to the shuttles," Rogers said. "And they'd shoot us down anyway." The decision weighed on her. 200 lives in her hands. She touched the small gold cross at her neck, a habit when making difficult choices. "Alert. All personnel, we surrender." Deep below, Sam was still making his way through the tunnels when the main lights shut off. Emergency lighting cast red shadows on the walls. He froze, listening. The alarm had stopped. His cum unit crackled to life. "All personnel report to the main hall immediately." "This is not a drill. Repeat, all personnel to the main hall." The message repeated, but Sam noticed it didn't use any of the standard emergency codes. Something was very wrong. He changed direction, heading for a maintenance shaft that would give him a view of the main hall. Above, the first Varaxian ships had landed. Troops poured out, their exoskeletons clicking as they moved with military precision. They carried weapons that hummed with strange energy. Commander Rogers met them at the entrance, back straight, chin up. "We surrender peacefully," she said to the Varaxian officer. "I ask that you treat my people with respect." The alien tilted its head, mandibles twitching. "Your quick surrender is noted." It was ... expected. "I won't sacrifice lives needlessly," Rogers replied. "Wise. Gather your people." Sam watched through a ventilation grate as the outpost personnel were herded into the main hall. From his hidden position, he could see aliens placing devices on walls and equipment. Some kind of technology he didn't recognize? "The Dominion claims this outpost," the Varaxian commander announced, You are now under our authority. Cooperate and survive. Sam's heart pounded. Should he reveal himself? What good would one more prisoner do? As he debated, the decision was made for him. A section of aliens split off, heading toward the living quarters and other areas. They were searching the outpost. Sam backed away from the grate. He needed to hide to think. The maintenance tunnels were his domain. He knew places that weren't on any official maps, sections added during construction but later sealed off or forgotten. For hours, Sam moved silently through the outpost's hidden spaces. He gathered supplies, water purification tablets, emergency rations, tools. He found an old storage area near the geothermal vents where the heat would mask his body signature. Making a small nest among forgotten crates, he finally allowed himself to rest. When he woke, the outpost was eerily quiet. Sam checked his watch. He'd slept for nearly 10 hours. Carefully, he made his way to another observation point. A small gap in the ceiling panels of the control room. The room was transformed. Alien technology now covered the human consoles. 3 Varaxians worked at the stations, their movements quick and efficient. Through the main window, Sam could see more alien ships had landed. They were setting up for something big. With a sinking feeling, Sam realized he couldn't see any humans. Where had they taken the outpost personnel? Commander Rogers? His friends? Moving to another vantage point, Sam watched as aliens carried supplies from their ships into the outpost. Their numbers were growing. This wasn't just an occupation. They were converting the outpost into something else. A base, perhaps. Sam returned to his hiding place, mind racing. He was alone. No way to call for help. No weapons beyond his tools. But he was still free while everyone else was captured. Okay, Sam, he whispered to himself. You're the only one left. Now, what are you going to do about it? He spread out his tools and supplies. Limited resources against an alien force. Impossible. Odds. But as he organized his meager belongings, a plan began to form. He knew the outpost better than anyone. Every pipe, every circuit, every system. The aliens had taken the outpost without a fight. They thought they had won. They didn't know about Sam Miller. And that was going to be their biggest mistake. 3 days passed. Sam had turned a forgotten storage room into his base. He hung his jacket on a pipe and placed his few supplies in neat rows. The room was small, but had an air vent and access to a water pipe. Most importantly, it had a maintenance terminal. The terminal was old and dusty, but Sam got it working. With careful keystrokes, he connected to the outpost's systems without setting off alarms. Years of fixing the outpost's technology gave him knowledge the aliens didn't have. Let's see what you're up to, Sam whispered as the screen lit up his tired face. The camera feeds showed aliens everywhere. They had removed human items and replaced them with their own technology. The sight made Sam's stomach tighten. This wasn't just an occupation, it was a takeover. Sam switched to different cameras. In the science lab, aliens studied maps of nearby space. In the communications room, they had built new equipment that reached far beyond what humans had. They're planning something bigger, Sam realized. He found no sign of the human crew in the outpost. But when he accessed the camera pointing outside, he saw the answer. The largest alien ship remained in orbit. That's where they must be keeping everyone. Sam needed to learn more, but he also needed to survive. He created a schedule. 2 hours to sleep, then move through the tunnels to gather supplies. 2 more hours to watch the aliens and learn their patterns. Then back to his hideout to analyze what he learned. On his 4th trip out, Sam took a risk. While 3 aliens worked in the food storage area, he slipped into the shadows behind them. Their clicking language was strange, but some words sounded almost like English. Double quotes, colony ... preparations. 17 days ... The words drifted to Sam's ears. He froze. Colony? Were they planning to attack human colonies next? He needed more information. That night, Sam made his first move. He crept through the ventilation system to the power control room. No aliens were present. He quickly adjusted settings on 3 separate systems. Nothing dramatic, just enough to cause problems. The next morning, Sam watched through the cameras as the aliens dealt with failing lights in the east wing. Temperature drops in the south corridors and water pressure problems throughout the outpost. "Let's see how you like having a ghost in your new home," Sam said with a small smile. Fleet Commander X. Cathar was not pleased. The tall Varaxian stood in the control room, mandibles clicking rapidly as junior officers reported the problems. 3 system failures in one day. X. Cathar's voice was harsh. "Unacceptable. This outpost must be operational in 15 days. "We are working to fix the issues, Commander," said an officer. "The human technology is predictable. Then replace it faster. The invasion fleet arrives in 16 days. This base must be ready to support our attack on the human colonies." Sam's blood went cold as he listened through the audio feed. 16 days until more ships arrived. An attack on human colonies. He had to warn Earth somehow. Over the next several days, Sam became bolder. He moved equipment when aliens weren't looking. He changed temperature settings to make them uncomfortable. He created strange noises in distant corridors. The aliens became nervous. They started traveling in pairs. Some refused to go to certain areas of the outpost alone. "The humans had no spirits in their beliefs," one alien said to another as Sam listened. "But something walks these halls." Commander X. Cathar called a meeting. "These problems delay our mission. The human machines are not at fault. Something else is happening." A science officer stepped forward. "Commander, I checked the personnel records. All humans are accounted for on the ship." "Check again," X. Cathar ordered, "and search the outpost. Every room, every corridor." Sam knew he needed to be more careful now, but he also needed better information. That night he took his biggest risk yet. He crept into the communications room while only one alien worked there. Sam waited until the alien left for a moment, then plugged a small device into their new communications array. Back in his hideout, Sam now had access to the aliens' messages. Most were in their language, but some had been translated for communication with human prisoners. One message made Sam sit up straight. The captive humans were being held in a secure area of the orbiting ship. Commander Rogers was being questioned daily about Earth's defenses. "Hang on, Commander," Sam whispered. "I'll find a way to help." The alien search of the outpost grew more intense. They used scanning devices and set traps in some corridors. Sam had to use all his knowledge of the outpost's hidden paths to avoid them. On the 7th day, Sam nearly got caught. He was collecting food from a storage room when 2 aliens entered unexpectedly. Sam ducked behind a large container, holding his breath as they passed just feet away. "The commander is becoming obsessed with this ghost," one alien said. "It's not a ghost," the other replied. "The logs show small power usages and door activations. Something or someone is here. All humans are accounted for. Then perhaps they left something behind. A device or a program." Sam waited until they left, then rushed back to his hideout. The aliens were getting closer to the truth. He needed to be more careful, but he also needed to cause bigger problems for them. That night, Sam created his masterpiece. He programmed the outpost lighting system to fail in a pattern, one section at a time, moving through the outpost like a presence walking the halls. At the same time, he triggered the emergency announcement system to create static and occasional words in random corridors. The next morning, Commander X. Cathar stood in the control room, watching the lights fail one by one down a long corridor, followed by strange sounds from the speakers. "This is deliberate," X. Cathar hissed. "Not a malfunction." "But how, Commander?" asked an officer. "We've searched everywhere." "Not everywhere." X. Cathar turned to face the officer. "Bring the human commander from the ship, Rogers. She knows this outpost. She will tell us what we're missing." Sam watched through the camera feed, his heart pounding. They were bringing Commander Rogers back to the outpost. This was both dangerous and an opportunity. If he could somehow reach her, maybe together they could find a way to contact Earth. As Sam considered his next move, the terminal flashed with a new message. The aliens were receiving a transmission from their homeworld. Sam's crude translation program struggled with the alien language, but 3 words came through clearly: Advance the timeline. The invasion wasn't coming in 16 days, it was coming sooner. Sam's time was running out. Sam watched the landing pad through a small camera he had placed. A shuttle descended from the large ship in orbit. The door opened and Commander Rogers stepped out, flanked by 2 Varaxian guards. Her uniform was wrinkled and she looked tired, but her back was straight and her head high. Commander X. Cathar met her at the entrance. "Commander Rogers, welcome back to your outpost." "Why am I here?" Rogers asked, her voice cool. "We have a problem I believe you can solve." X-Care gestured for her to follow. "Something haunts this outpost. Systems fail, equipment moves. Strange sounds echo in empty corridors." Rogers showed no reaction. "Perhaps you should call ghost hunters, not me." X-Cathar's mandibles clicked. In annoyance, "We both know it is not a spirit. Is there someone still here? A hidden human, perhaps?" "All my people surrendered," Rogers said. "You counted them yourself." Sam smiled at her answer. She didn't know he was here, but she wasn't helping the aliens either. He needed to find a way to let her know she wasn't alone without the aliens discovering him. The next day, a new alien arrived at the outpost. This one was different. Smaller than the others, with darker coloring and specialized equipment attached to its exoskeleton. "This is Vexara, our finest hunter," X-Cathar announced to the gathered officers. "She will find whatever hides in these walls." Sam felt a chill. This was bad, very bad. He needed to be more careful now. Vexara began her hunt methodically. She placed sensors in corridors and rooms. She studied the outpost's layout. She tested the ventilation system, the water pipes, the electrical conduits, all the places Sam had been using to move around. Sam was forced deeper into the outpost's forgotten spaces. He found old storage rooms from the initial construction, areas blocked off by later renovations. He could still access some systems, but his range was limited now. On his 3rd day of hiding from the hunter, Sam discovered something interesting. Behind a wall marked for a future expansion on the original plans, he found a sealed laboratory. The door was locked with a high security code, but Sam knew the maintenance override. When the door slid open, lights automatically activated. The room was pristine. In the center stood what looked like a suit of armor on a stand. A sign on the wall read Project XM7, Environmental Combat System Prototype. Sam approached the suit. It was not like regular military armor. It was sleeker with integrated systems and a helmet that completely enclosed the head. A small screen nearby showed technical specifications. "Designed for extreme environment combat," Sam read aloud. "Enhanced strength, environmental protection, tactical systems integration." This was a prototype combat suit sent to the outpost for testing but never deployed. Perhaps the scientists had been about to begin trials when the aliens attacked. Sam studied the activation sequence on the screen. As an engineer, he understood how it worked. The suit required biometric authentication, but there was a maintenance mode for system checks. Sam could use that to bypass the security. It took hours of careful work. The suit powered up section by section. Systems came online. Diagnostic programs ran. Finally, a mechanical voice announced, "XM7 combat system, maintenance mode active." Sam carefully put on the suit. It was designed to fit over regular clothes. As each piece connected, the suit adjusted to his body. When he put on the helmet, a heads-up display activated, showing environmental data and system status. "Power at 78%, the suit announced. "Warning, full combat mode locked. Maintenance mode limits functionality." Even with limitations, the suit was amazing. Sam could move faster and lift more. The helmet provided enhanced vision in darkness. Most importantly, it had built-in communications equipment that might let him contact Earth. Sam spent the next day learning how to use the suit. He discovered how to move quietly despite its weight. He practiced using its strength without making noise. He explored its systems and found ways to bypass some of the limitations, but time was running out. Vexara was systematically sealing off sections of the outpost, working inward from the outer areas. Soon she would reach his hiding places. Sam needed to act. He put on the combat suit and prepared to move. His plan was to reach the communications center, use the suit systems to boost a signal, and warn Earth about the coming invasion. Moving through the narrowest tunnels was harder in the suit, but Sam managed. He avoided the main corridors where Vexara had placed sensors. Instead, he used maintenance shafts and forgotten passages. He was almost to the communications center when disaster struck. A section of old flooring gave way under the suit's weight. Sam fell through to the corridor. Below, landing hard. Alarms immediately sounded. Sam got to his feet as 3 Varaxian soldiers rounded the corner. They stopped in shock at the sight of a human in a strange armored suit. "Halt!" one shouted, raising a weapon. Sam had no choice. He charged forward, the suit enhancing his speed and strength. The aliens fired, energy bolts hitting the suit but causing minimal damage. Sam reached the first alien and knocked it aside, then spun to face the others. The fight was brief but intense. The suit protected Sam from their weapons and gave him the strength to overpower them. When it was over, 3 unconscious aliens lay on the floor, and Sam was still standing, but the alarm was still blaring. More aliens would come soon. Sam grabbed one of the alien weapons and ran toward the communications center. He burst through the door to find 2 aliens at the controls. They turned in surprise, reaching for weapons. Sam fired first, stunning them before they could react, working. Quickly, Sam connected the suit systems to the alien communication array. He began recording a message to Earth. "This is Lieutenant Sam Miller at Outpost Cygnus. We've been taken by a species called the Varaxians. They're planning an invasion of human colonies. Send help immediately. The Outpost personnel are being held on their command ship in orbit. The aliens are—" The door exploded inward. Vexara stood there, a large weapon in her hands. "The ghost reveals itself," she said, her voice cold. "Not a spirit after all, just a human in a machine." Sam turned to face her, raising his stolen weapon. "Just a human is enough." Vexara moved with startling speed. She fired her weapon, hitting Sam directly in the chest. The suit absorbed much of the impact, but the force still knocked him backward into the control panel. Sam returned fire, but Vexara dodged with inhuman quickness. She fired again and again, driving Sam back. The suit's systems flashed warnings about damage and power loss. In desperation, Sam grabbed a piece of equipment and hurled it at Vexara. It caught her by surprise, striking her head. Sam used the moment to charge, tackling the hunter to the ground. They struggled, the suit giving Sam extra strength, but Vexara's natural abilities making her a formidable opponent. Finally, Sam got the upper hand and struck her hard enough to knock her unconscious. Breathing heavily, Sam stood up. His message had been sent, but he didn't know if it had reached Earth. The suit was damaged, power levels dropping. And now the aliens knew exactly what they were facing. Sam grabbed Vexara's weapon and headed back to the tunnels. The game had changed. He was no longer a ghost in the walls. Now he was a soldier at war. The outpost was on high alert. Aliens rushed through corridors, weapons ready, searching for the human in the combat suit. Sam had retreated to a new hiding place, a small space between the outer hull and the inner walls where maintenance workers could access the station's exterior sensors. "Damage report," Sam whispered, and the suit's mechanical voice responded. "Power at 43%. Right arm mobility reduced by 22%. Communication systems damaged. Helmet sensors operating at 67% capacity. Not good, but not terrible either." Sam checked. The alien weapon he had taken from Vexara. It was still functional, though he didn't fully understand how it worked. He had fired it by trial and error during the fight. From his hiding spot, Sam could hear Commander Xkathar's voice through the walls, addressing his troops. "One human, one. How did your finest hunter fail to capture one human?" "The human has a weapon system we did not account for," an officer replied. "A combat suit of advanced design. I don't care if it has 1,000 combat suits. Find it. We move against the human colonies in 48 hours. Nothing must interfere with our timetable." Sam's heart sank. 48 hours. Had his message reached Earth? Even if it had, would help arrive in time? He needed to do more. Carefully, Sam pulled up the outpost schematics on his suit's display. If the aliens were preparing to attack the colonies, they would need their ships. Most were landed around the outpost. If Sam could disable those ships, he might buy more time, but first he needed to check on Commander Rogers. If the aliens were angry, they might take it out on the prisoners. Sam worked his way through the narrow space until he reached a section near the landing bay. Through a small gap, he could see Rogers and several crew members under guard. They looked tired but unharmed. As Sam watched, Cathar approached Rogers. "Your missing crew member has revealed himself. A single human has been sabotaging our operation." Rogers showed no reaction, but Sam saw her hands tighten slightly. "I find that hard to believe," she said calmly. "Believe what you wish. But know this, if he is not captured within 12 hours, we will begin executing your crew. 1 human every hour until he surrenders." Rogers finally showed emotion, then a flash of anger quickly controlled. "That violates all protocols for treatment of prisoners." "We are not at war, Commander. Not officially, there are no protocols." Cathar turned away. The choice is his. When the aliens left, Sam saw Rogers look directly at the wall near where he was hiding. She couldn't see him, but somehow she sensed something. She whispered so quietly that only Sam's enhanced helmet audio picked it up. "Whoever you are, don't give yourself up. Complete the mission. That's an order." Sam felt a surge of determination. Rogers knew someone was out there fighting. He wouldn't let her down. Over the next few hours, Sam developed a plan. The outpost had an emergency alert system that could be activated from multiple locations. If Sam triggered it, the aliens would think there was an attack. That might give him the distraction he needed to reach the communication array on the outpost surface. The array was his best hope. His suit's communication system was damaged, but if he could directly access the array, he might be able to send a clear message to Earth with the aliens' exact plans. Sam moved carefully through the maintenance tunnels. Avoiding patrols, he reached an emergency control panel and prepared to activate it. But before he could, the panel lit up on its own. A voice came through the station-wide speakers, Cathar's voice. "Attention, human saboteur. You have 10 hours before executions begin. Surrender now, and your fellow humans will live." Sam hesitated. Could he live with himself if people died because of his actions? But Rogers' words echoed in his mind. "Complete the mission." That's an order. He had to try a different approach. The direct path to the communications array was too heavily guarded now. Sam studied the outpost schematics again and found another option. The outpost public address system, the PA system, ran throughout the outpost. If Sam could access it, he might be able to create confusion among the aliens. Their insectoid psychology made them vulnerable to fear and uncertainty in ways. Humans, WER in single quotes. Dom made his way to a maintenance hub where the PA system controls were located. No aliens were present. They were all searching for him in more obvious places. Sam connected his suit to the system and began recording messages. Then he programmed them to play at random intervals in different parts of the outpost. He left the hub and moved to his next target, the weapons locker. The aliens had taken most of the human weapons, but Sam knew about a hidden storage area where emergency supplies were kept. As Sam moved through the station, his recorded messages began to play. In some areas, it was his voice counting down random numbers. In others, it was warnings about system failures. In the mess hall, it was the sounds of human laughter. The effect was immediate. Aliens rushed from place to place, trying to trace the sounds. Some fired at shadows. Others huddled in defensive positions. The orderly search for Sam became chaotic. Using the distraction, Sam reached the hidden storage area and found what he needed: mining charges. The outpost used them for extracting rare minerals from the moon's surface. Each charge was small but powerful, designed to break apart rock without damaging nearby equipment. Sam took 6 charges and headed toward the landing bay. If he could disable the alien shuttles, they couldn't launch their attack on schedule. That might buy enough time for help to arrive. The landing bay was less guarded than usual, with many aliens responding to the phantom sounds throughout the outpost. Sam planted charges on key components of 3 shuttles, setting timers for 30 minutes. As he was planting the last charge, Sam heard a familiar voice. "I knew you would come here." Sam turned to see Vexara. The hunter had recovered from their fight and looked even more dangerous now. She held a larger weapon, and her exoskeleton showed new modifications. "Your psychological warfare is clever, human. But I do not fear noises and voices." Sam raised his stolen weapon. "You should fear me, though, perhaps. But I have studied you now. I know how your suit works, its strengths, its weaknesses." Vexara moved slowly to the side. "You fight well for a maintenance engineer. We're full of surprises." Sam moved in the opposite direction, keeping distance between them. "Indeed, one last chance to surrender, human. Your commander's life for yours. Not going to happen." Vexara fired. The blast hit near Sam's feet, forcing him to jump back. That was a warning. The next one will not be. Sam knew he couldn't win a direct fight against Vexara, not with his damaged suit, but he didn't need to win. He just needed to survive until the charges detonated. "You know what your mistake was?" Sam asked, still moving slowly around the landing bay. "You took our outpost without a fight. That was wisdom, not a mistake." "No, it was a mistake. Because you didn't learn what humans are capable of when pushed too far." As if to emphasize his point, the first mining charge detonated with a massive boom. The closest shuttle's landing gear collapsed, sending the craft crashing down. Alarms blared throughout the bay. In the moment of confusion, Sam lunged forward, firing at Vexara. The hunter dodged, but not completely. The blast caught her side, sending her spinning. Sam didn't wait to see if she would recover. He ran for the exit as the second and third charges detonated behind him. His message to Earth might or might not have gotten through, but he had just bought them all more time. And Sam Miller wasn't done fighting yet. Chaos filled the outpost. Alarms blared as smoke poured from the damaged shuttles. Aliens ran in all directions, some fighting fires, others searching for Sam. He moved quickly through service tunnels, the suit systems giving him enough night vision to navigate without lights. Sam checked the suit's power level, 31%. Not much left. He needed to make every action count now. The destruction of the shuttles had bought time, but Commander X. Cathar was furious. His voice boomed through the outpost communication system. "Human saboteur, you have crossed the final line. The executions begin now, not in 10 hours. Come to the main hall immediately or watch your friends die." Sam's stomach tightened. He hadn't expected X. Cathar to move up the timeline. Now he faced an impossible choice: surrender himself or let others die, but maybe there was a third option. Sam studied the outpost schematics again. The main hull connected to the power core through a series of maintenance tunnels. The core powered everything in the outpost, including life support. If Sam could reach it, he might be able to create a bigger distraction. Moving as fast as he dared, Sam made his way toward the power core. He passed close to the main hall and risked a quick look through a ventilation grate. What he saw made his blood run cold. Commander Rogers and 5 crew members knelt in a line. Behind them stood armed aliens. X-Scare paced before them, mandibles clicking in agitation. "Your time is up," X. Cathar announced. "The first execution will proceed." Sam couldn't wait any longer. He had to act now. He pulled the last mining charge from his belt and set the timer for 2 minutes. Then he placed it on the power conduit running beneath the main hall. Taking a deep breath, Sam opened a direct channel to the main hall speakers. "This is Lieutenant Sam Miller. I'm surrendering. Don't hurt anyone." The aliens in the hall turned in surprise at the voice. X-Care gestured for his soldiers to be ready. "Enter slowly, human, no tricks." Sam moved away from the ventilation shaft, counting down in his head. He needed to time this perfectly. When he reached the entrance to the main hall, he saw dozens of alien weapons pointed at him. "The famous ghost," X. Cathar said. "Remove your helmet." Sam slowly raised his hands and removed the helmet. The cool air of the outpost hid his sweaty face. He looked directly at Commander Rogers, hoping she would understand what was about to happen. I'm sorry for causing trouble, Sam said loudly, trying to fill the time. I was just doing my job. Your job? Excare moved closer. Destroying our ships? Injuring our soldiers? My job as a human. Sam glanced at his suit's internal timer. 10 seconds left. We don't give up easily. The mining charge detonated with a thunderous boom. The floor shook, lights flickered and died. Emergency lighting cast red shadows across the startled faces of aliens and humans alike. In the moment of confusion, Sam acted. He slammed his helmet. Back on and charged forward, knocking aside the closest aliens. He reached Commander Rogers and pulled her to her feet. Run! He shouted to the other prisoners. Emergency Shelter 3! The humans scrambled to their feet. Some aliens recovered quickly and fired their weapons, but in the dim light and confusion, most shots missed. Sam used his suit's remaining power to shield Rogers as they ran for the exit. Behind them, more explosions sounded as the damaged power conduit triggered secondary systems to fail. The outpost's artificial gravity fluctuated, sending unsecured objects floating upward before crashing down again. Miller? Rogers gasped as they ran through darkened corridors. You're the ghost? Yes, ma'am. Sorry I couldn't reveal myself sooner. Did your message get through to Earth? I don't know. But I bought us some time. The shuttles are damaged. They can't launch their attack yet. They reached Emergency Shelter 3, where the other escaped prisoners waited. The shelter was designed to protect against hull breaches with its own air supply and communication. System, what now? Asked a young officer named Ben. Sam checked his suit's power. Only 12% remained. Now we need to get a clear message to Earth. There's a communication array on the outpost surface. If I can reach it, I can send a distress call with the aliens' exact plans. Rogers shook her head. Too dangerous. You've done enough, Miller. With respect, Commander, the job's not done yet. Sam looked at each of the freed prisoners. I need to know where the rest of our people are being held. Level 3 of the command ship, Rogers said after a moment. Cell block, there are about 20 guards, Sam nodded. I'll send the message, then find a way to free them. How? Your suit is damaged and you're just one person, Ben argued. Sam smiled grimly. I've been just one person this whole time. It's worked so far? The outpost shook again as another system failed. Sam's damage to the power core was cascading through other systems. The reactor? Sam said suddenly. If it goes into overload, the aliens will have to evacuate. And how do we avoid being caught in the evacuation? Rogers asked. There's a maintenance airlock near the array. If I can reach it, there's an emergency shuttle docked there. It's small, but it could hold all of us and the other prisoners if we can free them. Rogers considered the plan. It's risky. Everything's been risky since they arrived. After a moment, Rogers nodded. Do it. We'll create diversions to help. Sam left the shelter while the others prepared to create distractions throughout the outpost. He made his way to the reactor control room, avoiding the aliens who were still trying to restore power. In the control room, Sam initiated a controlled overload sequence. Not enough to destroy the outpost, but enough to force an evacuation. Then he headed for the surface access tunnel. The tunnel was a long vertical shaft with a ladder leading to the communication array on the outpost's exterior. Sam climbed slowly, conserving his suit's remaining power. When he reached the top, he opened the airlock and stepped out onto the moon's surface. The view was breathtaking. Stars filled the black sky. The curve of the moon stretched away to the horizon. In orbit, Sam could see the alien command ship and, beyond it, something new, tiny flashes of light. Sam reached the communication array and connected his suit. Using the array's power rather than his suit's, he sent a clear, detailed message to Earth with the aliens' attack plans and the location of the prisoners. As he finished, a voice came through his helmet. Lieutenant Miller, this is Captain Greg Larson of the Earth Alliance vessel Defender. We received your earlier message and brought a fleet. What's your situation? Sam laughed with relief. Captain, you have no idea how good it is to hear a human voice. The aliens are holding our people on their command ship. We need immediate extraction. Already on it, Lieutenant. We've engaged the alien vessels in orbit. Hold your position. Sam watched as more flashes lit up the space around the alien command ship. The Earth fleet had arrived just in time. Below him, the outpost's alarms changed tone, signaling an evacuation order. The reactor overload was working. Soon the aliens would flee, giving Sam's people a chance to escape. Sam made his way to the emergency shuttle. Commander Rogers and the others were already there, having used the confusion to reach the airlock. The fleet is here, Sam told them. They're engaging the alien ships now. What about our people on the command ship? Rogers asked. Before Sam could answer, his suit picked up an alien transmission. The translation was rough but clear enough. Abandoned ship. Release all prisoners to escape pods. They're letting our people go, Sam said. The Varaxians are retreating. Together, they watched through the shuttle's viewport as escape pods launched from the alien command ship. Earth vessels moved to retrieve them. In orbit, the alien fleet was scattering, pursued by human ships. You did it, Miller, Rogers said quietly. One human against an alien invasion force, and you won. Sam removed his helmet, the suit's power finally depleted. I just bought us time. The fleet did the rest. Don't sell yourself short. The aliens took this outpost without a fight, then met the one left behind, Rogers smiled. I think they'll remember that lesson for a long time. As their shuttle launched to rendezvous with the Earth fleet, Sam looked back at the outpost. For 2 weeks it had been his battlefield, his proving ground. The aliens had learned what humans were capable of, even when the odds seemed impossible. Even when it was just one human fighting alone, sometimes one was enough.